Carlos is, but I'm not sure of the others.
Delta Psi facility, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. We will wait until 11:50 because a lot of the members of the committee are not here yet. Mika, I don't know if you are trying to say something, but you are breaking out. Welcome, everybody. We are going to wait until 11:50 to start the meeting. Okay. Sorry, somebody's calling me.
Hi, Jen. So glad you're here.
Hi. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Leticia.
How are you doing?
Living the dream every day.
Yeah, you can. There, now we can move the screen so we see you.
So the Ivy, the roof and balcony safety is towards the end of the agenda, but I did talk to Viviana and she'll see if whether we can move that up to earlier. And then I could give more information on what we're doing and all of that. So
Yeah, we're gonna turn off the camera and turn on mute and just kind of listen at this point.
okay, perfect. And if for any of the property providers, if you have questions after this, feel free to just email me directly. But I do want to say that this is like between roof, balcony, and cliff safety. I feel like this is top priority for us right now and doing educational push.
Okay.
So we're going to be working on it. So it's on our radar. Thanks for coming.
All right.
Sorry, I had to take an urgent call, but we'll wait a couple of minutes and then I think we are ready to start. We'll wait till 11:50 to see more members show up. Welcome, Dora.
I'm so lucky to have Dora. I just have to say.
Thank you, Vivian.
Yeah. Okay, So, I think we can actually start with the land acknowledgement and then proceed with the meeting, so we would like to acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional lands of the Chumash people and pay our respects to elders, both past and present. We honor the traditional territory as well as the story and contributions of the Chumash people to the land upon which we gather and create. So now we are going to proceed actually to introductions, since we have so many new people here. Before that, I want to basically give a shout out to the Isla Vista Recreation and Park Districts and the Isla Vista Community Services District, IVPRD, for their 50th anniversary during Halloween. Everything was amazing. The IVCSD for the spooky event. I also would like to, we are going to hear reports of Halloween probably. I would also like to acknowledge, that tomorrow is Veterans Day, and we actually I would like to honor those who serve for us. There is also congrats to all the officials or members of the IVCN who are running for office, and it seems that you are doing well so far. So as many of you saw in Lisa's email, we have an item added to the agenda, and it's about the recent Bluff Falls. I know that Jen invited some property provider representatives here. So can you please raise your hand if we are, because we have had a request to probably move this item to the beginning of the agenda. So I want to measure how many representatives are here and what the members feel about moving this up to the first item on the agenda.
So I know we have Lisa, Jamie, Carlos, Dora, myself. Who else? Annabelle.
Okay. So for the members of the committee, can you do a thumbs up if you are okay about moving this up on the agenda and start with that? No, first we are going to do introductions, but go right after the introductions. Okay, it seems there isn't a preference, so maybe I would suggest that we move that to the beginning of the meeting. So now,
So sorry to interrupt, but is someone from the 2nd District Supervisor's office here?
yes,
Oh, okay.
Daniela Aguirre, I see.
Oh, perfect. Hi, Daniela. Okay, great.
Yeah. So, hello, everybody. My name is Viviana Marzano. I'm Director of Civic and Community Engagement, Isla Vista Liaison, and Senior Advisor to Campus Orgs for Dean of Students and SEAL. I'm going to go and mention people according to the order on the screen, and you can go and introduce themselves. If you have a very brief announcement, we'd like you to make the announcement, but those of you who have a section on the agenda, we will ask you that you wait until then. So Lisa Osborne.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Osborne, News and Public Affairs Director at KCSB 91.9 FM, and I work with 2 student news directors and our team of student leadership. KCSB actually has a concert coming up a week from Friday. It's a free concert in Stork Plaza. It's an alternative hip hop band, I believe, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'll find the link and I'll put it into the chat. Everyone's invited. Starts at 8 o'clock on the 18th.
Thank you. Jen?
Hi all, I'm Jen Burcham, Manager, University and Community Housing Services. It's great to see all of you. I do have a few events coming up. I'm doing a parent-student virtual housing fair to talk about, not housing fair, housing presentation to talk about housing for 23-24. And I have a flyer for this, and I'll probably just send it out to you by email. I think that'll be a lot easier than trying to drop it in the link. I'm doing it over Thanksgiving break and one over winter break so that parents and students or guardians can be on this and get all of the information they need to know so their student can make an informed decision about housing for next academic year. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. I just put the link to the agenda for today on the chat. Dora, you are next.
Thank you, Vivian. My name is Dora Campos, and I'm one of the housing service coordinator, and I work with Jen in the community with housing. And thank you so much for letting me be part of this meeting.
Welcome. Daniela Aguirre.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daniela Aguirre. I am with 2nd District Supervisor Greg Hart. This is my first time meeting all of you. So hi, everyone. My colleague, Chris Henson, who usually attends these meetings, is out of the office today. So you get me for the day. So I will try my best to answer any questions you may have. Otherwise, I can always take questions down and get answers for you at a later time if I don't have the information you need. But very excited to be here. I will be staying on for a Supervisor-elect Caps's tenure. So if you ever in the future have any scheduling needs, I would be the person to reach out to. And I'll leave my email in the chat. So yeah, you guys can have it.
Yeah, thank you, Daniela, and welcome.
Thank you.
I know we would have Representative Hart for probably a few more weeks. Sydney.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sydney. I am the Community Engagement Director with Ivcn, and I'll be doing our report today for both Spencer and myself. So I'll hold that until the end.
Okay, Lisa Oglesby.
Hi, everyone. Lisa Oglesby, Ivcn Food Cooperative Board of Directors. I'm coming in a little late, so I don't know whose introductions I've missed. I believe we have our outreach team here who might update on events. I don't have any specific updates. Thanks.
Okay, Jamie. Well, I don't know if I'm mispronouncing. Jamie? Yeah, sorry.
Hi, I'm Jamie Bruner Stetler.
Jamie.
I'm with Dean Bruner Rentals, property management for the students here in Isla Vista.
Okay. Carlos Espinosa.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carlos. I am the new property manager for all of St. George and Associates properties. This is my first time on a call like this, so I'm excited to meet everyone. So this is great.
Annabelle.
Hi, everybody. I'm also a part of St. George and Associates. I'm a leasing and property coordinator. This is also my first time on the call, so thank you for having me and excited to hear what everyone has to say and for us all to talk about.
Okay, welcome. Jay, sorry you are not feeling that great. Do you think you want to introduce yourself or would you rather?
He put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Lily?
Hi, everybody. My name is Lily Macmillan, and I'm the community liaison for the Office of the EVPLA. I do have a couple of announcements from our office, but I see that on the agenda, there is a portion for AS and IV, so I can wait until that portion to do my announcements.
Yeah, great, thank you. Ileana?
Hi, everyone. I'm Ileana Castro. I go by she, her pronouns, and I'm the outreach manager for the Isla Vista Food Co-op. I work closely with both Lisa and Sadie, who are also on this call. And just a quick announcement, just a shameless plug. If anyone ever needs a meeting space or any collaboration that you have been thinking about with us, we're always open to help out people. We love working with y'all. So feel free to shoot us a message to either the marketing email or the outreach email.
Okay, Sadie?
Hello, I'm Sadie McDade. I'm the marketing manager at the IV Co-op. This is Ileana and I's first meeting. Thanks to Lisa for sharing information. No major updates. We're just excited to, dip our toes into the water of these meetings. So nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. Bella?
Hi, I'm the vice chair at IVCRC, the Isla Vista Community Relations Committee. We're part of AS. I also have an announcement, but I'll hold it until later.
Okay. IVRPD, I don't know who is here. Luis, Kimberly, Sophia.
Hello, I'm trying to get video on. It might work, it might not work. But hi everyone, my name is Sophia Lake. I use she, her pronouns. Luis, also I'm the recreation coordinator. Luis, our assistant general manager, will be joining us shortly too for our announcements later. Thank you.
Thank you. St. George? Youth Center, Raul, yeah.
Yes. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raul Macias. I am the program director of the St. George Youth Center. I'm also the grant director for the Isla Vista Coalition for Healthy Communities 805, and I'm happy to be here and seeing new people.
Okay. Malia? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry. Okay, maybe they are not available this minute. Okay, so what we were discussing earlier, that the topic about the recent Bluff Falls is listed at the end of the agenda. And since we have so many property providers representatives, I don't know if you would rather move it to the next item on the agenda. I don't know if the second district supervisor's office, Daniela, if you are okay with that. How does everybody feel about that?
That's fine with me.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll move it up. And, you know, before the meeting started, Jen and I were talking that we did have a meeting in the summer with the firefighters. Only one representative of property providers came, IVCSD, myself, Susan Perkin from my office, and we did start a conversation about this issue. And we also talked about the possibility of running an educational campaign. And I think Jen also feels that would be a good thing. So we are opening this up for discussion. Jen, do you want to get us started?
Sure. So we had met originally in June, the end of June, beginning of July, to talk about roof and balcony safety. At the time, that was what we were focusing on because of the roof falls that we had during Deltopia. Now with the two Bluff Falls that we've had just since the beginning of the school year, I feel like it needs to be roof, balcony, and cliff safety. And we do have another meeting set for November 30th from 11 to 12. And so if you want to come to that meeting, it's going to be virtual. I have everybody that was on our original meeting during the summer coming to this meeting, as well as other property providers. But if you want to be included in that meeting, you can email me directly and I'll just add you on there. And I'm going to drop my email in the chat. So what we were talking about was the fact that a lot of the students that are living in Isla Vista now, obviously all of our first years in the residence halls are all new to the culture of Isla Vista. And I feel like in the past, there was just historical knowledge that was passed down from one group of students to the next group of students regarding the culture of Ivy. And because of the pandemic and students not being there, there wasn't this, I think, knowledge passed down from one group to another. And so I'm kind of looking at everybody in Ivy as brand new to Isla Vista around all of the safety and security that we've done a lot of work pre-pandemic to educate students on. So I feel like we really need to do a push of education. And I know that property providers would be willing to send this information out or post it to their residents, but we just need a group to come together to create these educational flyers. And I see it almost like couch burning was this huge thing. We did this huge educational push, and now it's, you know, few and far between. So I feel like that's where I want to go with this, is doing a huge educational push in the res halls and the university owned apartments, but as well as Ivy around all of these areas of concern, I guess I would say.
Yeah. I remember at that summer meeting, you know, our office, because we manage Shoreline, we offered, you know, to probably, you know, help promote all the information. And this year we started different pages for different classes, you know, so we have first, second, third, fourth year. Of course, we should advertise it with everybody, right? But I think a bigger push with the first years, it's also very helpful. Okay, any comments and ideas from that? Any property providers that would like to contribute to this discussion?
Lily has her hand raised. Lily, do you have a question?
I just had a comment. So one of the initiatives that my office is working on is a collaboration with IBTU, the Isla Vista Tenants Union organization, to work on an educational campaign that, you know, provides information, like you're saying, that would have otherwise been passed down from group to group to group. And so I'm sure that we would, if you are interested, I'm sure we would love to loop you in as well, Jen, so we could get, you know, direct information from you guys who've been attending the meetings with the firefighters. And I think that would really greatly make our campaign fully rounded, and we could provide that information for students that they otherwise would have gotten, you know, word to mouth.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. And if you or somebody from the IBTU want to come to the meeting on the 30th, just email me and I can include you on the invite, the calendar invite for that. If not, I could take notes and then we can set up a meeting and start streamlining that and getting the information out. We have the ability, because of the landlords, and most of them are on this, a lot of them are on this call right now, that they're willing to do whatever they can do to get the information out to tenants. We just need to compile the information, I guess.
Yeah, no problem. So I will definitely email you about that. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
I remember also at that meeting in the summer, we got a lot of information from the firefighters department about what their policies are, what their processes. You know, we also talked about that sometimes we have, let's say, the water station or something that prevents them to get into the place on time. So I assume, Jen, that you're planning to have them at this meeting. Okay.
They'll be there. And that was around, so the firefighters were there we were talking about balcony overloading, and they were talking more specifically about what they can and can't do, just in terms of having access to some of these buildings or places, especially on Del Playa. And so it was good. So if any of the property providers want to attend, it'd be good for you to attend these meetings, because you have the inside scoop about how your buildings are set up and what you would be willing to do or not willing to do. So, and then they also talked about roofs as well. And I know that we had Rob from Meridian Group there, and Chris from Wolf and Associates was there. So talking about roof safety as well, what they can and can't do if they see people on the roofs, and all of that information. So it's really working collaboratively with the property providers and with law enforcement and fire to see what everybody can and can't do, and then to be able to work together to come up with one solid, you know, information piece that can be sent out to all the residents of Isla Vista.
Thank you, Jen. Any other comments? Lisa? Yeah.
Is the county, they had a bluff erosion monitoring program. Has that been active over the last couple of years? I think this came up a couple of years ago. That was more related to the erosion and the cliff falls.
My understanding, and Daniela, maybe you'll know, is Masood was the main engineer for the county, and they would actually come out prior to any type of weather event, and then they would also assess it post weather event. I'm not sure, to be honest, since COVID hit, what that looks like, but I'd be more than happy to reach out to them and find out.
Yeah, and I spoke to my colleague Ethan Bertrand this morning, and he did relay that planning and development are still doing those routinely monitoring the bluffs after rainfall. So that has been a consistent effort.
Yeah, the IVCSD also mentioned something not long ago about that monitoring. Any other comments, suggestions, concerns?
I will just say that we're working on an episode of Inside Isla Vista for this. So Jen, if you would want to talk to our reporter about it, maybe, and Lily might want to also. I don't know if any property owners at this point or prior to the 30th would want to talk about
I'd
it.
have to check with Andrea, not Andrea, with Kiki and John Longbraid, because anything that's coming out from me has to go through them first. So you can connect with me offline maybe, and then we can see, I can ask them.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So it seems to me that probably November 30th would be the perfect setup to start a conversation and almost like a working group on this issue. So I would urge a lot of you who are interested in this to actually attend the meeting on the 30th from 11 to 12, right, Jen?
That's correct. And then I'll be doing for the property providers who are on here, I'll also be doing a full kind of talk about this at our quarterly property provider meeting that we'll be doing in winter quarter in January. But I just I'm glad you all came to this just to know that these conversations are happening. And if you have any concerns or questions, just feel free to email me and I'd be happy to either find out or get information out. If you can't make the 30th meeting, I can send notes as well. So I guess I just wanted the property providers to be involved in the conversation because it has to do a lot with the culture of IV and your tenants and the safety around buildings.
Okay. Well, thank you very much to all the property providers that attended, and we are looking forward to a partnership on this issue and maybe other issues that come up in Isla Vista. So if there are no more comments, we can move to the next item on the agenda, which is the Second District Supervisor's Office report.
So just a few things here. So Chris wanted to just stress that our office is working very closely with planning and development to work with the Coastal Commission to see if they can remove the barriers that are preventing the improvements to fencing. If you guys have any specific questions about that, I will gladly take them and can get answers to you if you have any specific questions. Secondly, we are working with first responders to ID strategies for preventing unsafe situations near the cliffs. And the last point that Chris and Ethan mentioned was the November 30th meeting that we've been talking about that Jen brought up earlier. We'll be attending that meeting. So we're looking forward to having a conversation with all the stakeholders and really moving forward on this very important issue in our district. Again, if you have any specific questions about our work with P&D and the Coastal Commission or our efforts to work with first responders, I will gladly take them. If I don't have the answers for you at the moment, I will make sure to get them to you by the end of the day.
Thank you, Daniela. Any other updates from your office?
Not at the moment, but I think everybody is aware of the transition in office.
Yeah.
So if Supervisor-elect gets an early appointment, she will be starting as soon as possibly December 6th, but we're still waiting to hear back from the governor's office. So just so everyone is aware.
Thank you. Any questions for Daniela? No? Okay, we can move now to the Isla Vista Recreation and Park District update. Again, Luis, you were not here, and Sophia when we started, but congrats on all your activities for the 50th anniversary. They were amazing, every single section. And I personally appreciate that you included altars for the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And so yeah, going off of that, we'll just do a quick Halloween recap. First, I want to thank everyone on this meeting for sharing information about our event. Also coming to the event. I know the food co-op tabled there, and as well as Ivcn. And then a huge shout out to Ivcn and the CSD for generously granting or gifting us funds to put that event on. That was very, very helpful, and so thank you for that. But yeah, just a refresher for anyone who wasn't on this last meeting where we kind of went over the Halloween event. It was a 3-day experience, free and open to everyone of all ages. There was an interactive component where guests could go through, talk to some actors, interact with them, get a pumpkin at the end after completing a passport adventure. There was also like movies offered, silent disco, a trick or treat section, carnival games, and a Ferris wheel. So it was a lot of fun. We saw approximately 7,200 attendees over the course of the 3 days, which was crazy. It was so fun to see the community all get together and just really celebrate Halloween in a fun and safe way. We were also able to give away 2,400 pumpkins, as well as 5,800 passports. So everyone could enjoy the adventure and get to save the spirit of Halloween from Louis DeVille and their efforts to further develop Isla Vista. On Monday night, we had a really successful Halloween costume contest where the grand prize for the adult section was $1,000. So we saw over 80 participants in both across our youth and adult categories. And we were able to fill that amphitheater up, which was wild. It was so cool to see it completely filled, everyone just having a good time watching the community participate in the fun costume contest. So yeah, again, thank you so much for making that event so successful. We hope to continue and bring back the event next year to again offer the community an alternative to celebrate Halloween in a fun and safe way. As far as upcoming events, we do have our Lights, Love, and Community event coming up in early December, which is just going to be a holiday lighting event, and we're going to provide a few fun activities for the community to enjoy and just like come together, spend some time outside enjoying holiday lights, getting them really into that holiday spirit. And yeah, then Luis, he can touch a little bit on our children's park renovations.
Yes, thank you, Sophia, for that recap. Hey everyone, Luis Valerio, Assistant General Manager with Isla Vista Regional Park District. A few updates. Last night we held a demonstration garden design workshop for Children's Park Project, and that was really fun. Had some youth, some community members come out to the teen center, so thank you everyone that came out. We are going to begin hosting pretty much like bi-monthly Children's Park community meetings over the next 6 months. Our next meeting is scheduled for December 7th at 6:30 p.m. and that'll be a design workshop to look at the overall design of Children's Park. We have a conceptual design that was approved and awarded the $4 million grant about a year ago, and now we're kind of getting more into the nitty-gritty details of the park. So if everyone's invited, it's an open public meeting. We hope you can join us so we can continue to help shape the new life of Children's Park. Pardal Gardens, we just submitted all of our final design development construction plans over to county design and planning for approval of the development plan. So that is in process, and we're currently scheduled to begin construction in June 2023 for Pardal Gardens, with the project being completed in late fall and open to the public by the end of 2023 in mid to late December. So you'll start seeing a lot of movement happening there on Pardal Gardens. We're really excited to finally get these two projects up and going for Pardal and Children's Park.
Thank you. Sophia, what was the costume winner for the adults?
Oh, the costume winner, it was such a good costume. I wish I could like show a picture, but if anyone has seen the Powerpuff Girls, the cartoon, if they remember, I think they were the villain. His name was Him, just capital H-I-M. And he was like a red lobster looking guy. But the costume contest participant who recreated it did a great job. And there was also a talent portion and a question and answer portion, and they also did phenomenal in those two categories as well.
Thank you. Congrats again. So now we're, any questions for IVRPD? No? Okay, so we can move on to the Isla Vista Community Services District with Sydney.
Sure. Thank you, Viviana. I will first share Spencer's update, and I apologize. I had to take a phone call, so I wasn't able to contribute to the cliff erosion conversation, but this is a little bit of an update about the task force that just met.
Yeah.
The SAFE Task Force. So in 2014, District Attorney Joyce Dudley started the IV SAFE Task Force with the purpose of bringing county, university, and community partners together to address safety challenges in IV. Now, as District Attorney Dudley prepares to retire and IV has a new broad authority local government agency, the DA and the task force have asked IVCSD to continue to host these meetings. The first of these meetings took place this past Monday, and the first topic of discussion was expanding membership to include additional community partners that represent the diversity of our community. Additional topics of discussion included a debrief from Halloween, where law enforcement shared low crime, citation, and medical call reports. And lots of praise was shared with IVRPD for hosting 50th anniversary Halloween festival and the CSD for the Spooky Spectacular at the community center. Lastly, there was a discussion about bluff safety and the recent fatalities that have occurred. The CSD County, University, and property providers are convening next week to discuss solutions, including additional fencing and an educational campaign. So more to come on that, but wanted to share that update from Spencer. And then a couple updates from the rest of our team members. So we did have our Spooky Spectacular event, which was super fun and successful at the community center. We had about 100 people come throughout the entire event from 3 to 10, and we saw some really creative costumes during the contest. So we had a kids costume contest followed by an adult costume contest. The kids won, $200, $100 Target gift cards, and then the grand prize for the winner of the adult costume contest was $1,000. And then we also had various other categories like most upcycled costume and things like that. So super fun. The kids loved the hay rides on the e-bike, and we had bunnies there for adoption. So super fun event. And we're excited to continue that. And a huge shout out to the Ivy Food Co-op for making a very delicious spread that everyone enjoyed. And then our compost collective has been working on a pumpkin pickup, and so far they've collected 695 pounds of pumpkin. And so it's really awesome, and that continues through next week. And today they are hosting their IVCC Collab Day and Pumpkin Smash at the community center from 3 to 5 for anyone that is around and interested. It's going to be a super fun event. And then Food on Wheels will be starting on the 28th to get ready for the winter break. So there will be opportunities to sign up for non-perishable items to be picked up or dropped off. So more info to come. And then IV Mobility Plan update, we are continuing to host our virtual focus groups. Our next one is faculty and staff on Tuesday, the 15th. So next week from 5:30 to 6:30. So anyone that's interested, please let me know, or if you have contacts that may be interested, I'm happy to share the calendar invite. And also just in general. So some of the focus group times don't always work for everyone. So I've been having a lot of one-on-one phone conversations, Zoom conversations with people. So open to all of those opportunities as well. So just let me know. And then the community center update. So we are having a vegan food fair on December 3rd, most likely that date, with all vegan-friendly vendors, including the co-op, farm cart, organics, dank bowls, and backyard bowls. We'll have tabling and other resources available during that event as well. So more info to come. And if anyone is interested in joining the IV Free Market Planning Committee, please email Maya or myself for more information. And happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Sydney. For the mobility meetings, if you send, when did you say the meeting is?
The one for staff and faculty is on the 15th at 5:30. It's virtual.
Yeah, because the Gaucho Voice, which is our newsletter for the UCSB staff mainly, it goes out on Tuesday morning, but if you want to send me something, I can ask them to include it. If
That
you
would be
send me a flyer or something like that.
Yeah, I'll get that over to you today. Thanks, Viviana.
Okay, and then no more questions for Sydney, and thank you a lot for all the work that you do. Our next report is from Associated Students in IB.
Hi, so that is me. So I'm again Lily from the Office of the EVPLA. Associated Students in IB is a project that we've been wanting to revive. It's basically an organization of all of the campus entities, like all of the orgs and BCUs that have involvement with affairs within the community. It's basically a board that meets and discusses upcoming events. We're working on like a master calendar and a master contact list. The only issue with that we've had is that we're just waiting for some motion. We have to wait for it to pass in the student senate, and so there are external factors that are going on there. So we're basically just waiting for all of that to shake out. So I will have more updates for you guys as that project progresses. Also, UCIV is also starting back up. Applications are now open to be a part of, or to be a board member, and so I'm gonna be dropping a couple of links in the chat after I'm done speaking, and I'll have like little titles for each of the links. Our office also made a racial profiling survey after our efforts towards the surveillance on DP during Halloween and items like that relate to the policing of IB. So this survey was just to go student-wide so we can potentially lobby to UCSB and Santa Barbara County about the increased policing presence in Isla Vista. So I will also drop a link for that. Another initiative that our office is leading is expanding healthcare in IB. We just recently added a new position to our office, which is going to be a healthcare coordinator. And so our first event through this expansion that we are planning and currently working on is either going to be bi-weekly or monthly Planned Parenthood pop-ups and collaborations with the Isla Vista Community Clinic, just to provide more healthcare resources for students who may not have the UC SHIP insurance, or SBCC students who don't have a healthcare center available to them, or they can't go to UCSB Student Health, but they live in Isla Vista. So we want to make that more accessible for students, just because there's a really, really high number of students who don't seek out healthcare needs or healthcare practices because they don't have the capability to do so. So we really want to take an initiative in making those resources more available. With the holiday season coming up, we are also having a canned food drive. All of our donations are going to go to the AS Food Bank, which directly benefits students, specifically underprivileged students and food insecure students. And we are also partnering with that. We're planning a Know Your Resources food security campaign, which is going to be November 20th at Pardal Center from 12 to 1 p.m. Some of the resources that are going to be available there is CalFresh enrollment, representatives from the Basic Needs Center, and just about educating what is available. AS Food Bank representatives are going to be there. The Ivy Food Co-op is going to have some representatives there, and we're also going to have pamphlets from the Financial Crisis Response Team as well. So those are our upcoming events, and I will also drop a message in the chat of all of the links and with their corresponding events. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. It seems you are very busy. Can you briefly describe what the UCIV is?
Yes. UCIV, apologies, this is like new. We just brought it up last night in our meeting, so I have to check that. This is all, I'm reporting in place of Haley Stankiewicz, who is our EVPLA. So these are just some updates that I've gotten from her, but the UCNIV position is it's a program that acts as a mediator between police officers and the community. And in wake of the ever increasing police presence within Isla Vista, our office really wants to look at alternative methods to law enforcement, just so that we can have a more cohesive relationship between the community of non-residents, the community of students, as well as law enforcement officials. And so the UCIV board works with an additional board. It's the Police Advisory Board, which is ran by a professor on campus. And so that's what that program serves as. And the application to be a board member will be one of the links that I drop in the chat.
Great. Any questions for EVPLA office? No? Oh, Bella, sorry.
This isn't a question for EVPLA.
Yes.
I just wanted to make an announcement for IVCRC. So next week we're bringing back our IV week, which means that each day of the week we'll have different little activities going on. A lot of them are hosted out of the Pardal Center. I will have a flyer for this hopefully by the end of today, so I can send it out to you all. But right now it looks like an arts and crafts day where we'll have tie-dye and tote bag painting, origami, clay sculpting, bracelet making, that type of thing. On Wednesday, we're working with Foods Not Bombs to give out houseless care packages, or like to package those and then give them out. We have a cookie decorating event. We have a movie night. There's a garden volunteering event as well. So that'll all be displayed much more cohesively on the flyer, but I just wanted to announce it now. Yeah.
Thank you, Bella. So the last item here is law enforcement update, but I'm not sure we have any representative here today. I was curious to hear about Halloween, but maybe I can share a little bit that on our end, on the Dean of Students end, we just heard that it was a pretty quiet night. We heard from our students that a lot of them left town, to have Halloween somewhere else or go visit family. Kim, do you have any other thing to add about that?
Just that there was a lot of participation in kind of the alternative activities, which was fantastic. And that it was an overall safe weekend, like Viviana mentioned. Yeah.
Okay, great. So the last item here is some other burning issues that you want us to talk about at these meetings in the future. It seems to me that the balcony and bluff safety and roof safety, it's starting to get activated, the discussion, and it's great to hear that also the IVCSD is doing work on that. So I think there would be great results out of that. Any suggestions for burning issues for other dates, other meetings here? Oh, Lily.
Yes, so there was one item of discussion that came up in our office meeting last night. And I'm not sure if you guys follow the Nexus on Twitter or any of their social media sites. Last night, there was a collision between a snag scooter driver and a car, like an automobile driver. And so that kind of brought up a discussion about what are some of the potential resources that we could provide, or what kind of actions we can take within the community to promote safety in terms of transportation universally. Because it's not just drivers, but it's also it's car drivers, scooter drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians that are four key groups of people moving in and around IV. And I think that over just in my 4 years of college here, there's been at least 5 accidents that I can pull from my head of either being on a scooter and crashing into a car, or just scooter accidents, cycling accidents, car accidents. And I just think that the impact that has on our community, because it's so small, it really is only a 2 square mile community where it is car heavy. Ironically, I think that there could be some sort of resources or maybe some brainstorming on what we can do to address this issue, just because like I think that's important for student safety. It's also a topic of discussion on parent forums, UCSB parent forums on Facebook and the likes. So I think that as a community network, that could be something that we definitely focus on or at least discuss.
Okay, before giving the mic to Henry and Sydney, I want to mention that, you know, the IVCSD maybe 2 weeks ago did a phenomenal pop-up for transportation where they painted different crossing lines and things like that in IV. And I think that could be really something that will address that issue, Lily. Henry and then Sydney.
Bueno, Viviana, ¿cómo está?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien. The question I have about this collision between the scooter and the automobile is, where did that collision occur? One of the places that Kim and I sit and watch near collisions, and sometimes even collisions happen between bicycles and on bicycles or bicycles and scooters almost, is the intersection of Pardal and Embarcadero del Norte, where the traffic light is. And the biggest problem that we see there is people just blowing through that traffic light. I've almost been hit on my bike. And it's like one of those things where I'm following the rules, some other people aren't. Now, I'm going to say, in the conversation I had with Spencer Brandt on election day, it was really funny. We're standing in a corner talking about this. And we came up with the majority of people do obey that traffic signal. But there are those that just blow right through that light. Now, the question I have is, do you do that in Goleta? Do you do that on Hollister and Los Carneros? Do you do that on El Colegio and Los Carneros? Do you do that on Stork and Los Carneros? Most people say, oh, no, I don't. But then you ask them, do you do that at the light on Pardal and Embarcadero del Norte? They go, oh, well, that's not a real light. I'm like, I beg to differ. That's very real light. And the thing is, if, we're just, we've seen a lot of close calls there and everything. So again, my question is, where did that collision between the scooter and the automobile occur at? Thank you.
I think Lisa just posted something on the chat.
That's the link to the photo that was on the next Twitter, but I don't necessarily see the stoplight in the background. There is a red light in that picture, but looks like it might be down the way a little bit. But Henry makes a good point. Being the only traffic light in Isla Vista, maybe that's why.
Okay. Thank you, Lily. Sydney, and then we'll move to Ileana.
Yes, thank you. So, I mean, as Viviana shared, we did do a substantial pop-up a couple of weeks ago, but that's not to say that there's still not so much more that needs to happen and that we're trying to continue to do. So I would definitely like to talk more and explore educational opportunities, but also the more that we can track this data, the more that we can put in the Isla Vista mobility plan. So if we want to consider hosting a conversation around simply just like scooter focused things that we can do, I would really love to do that and explore that option. The other thing I want to note is that something that came up throughout that demonstration process is so many accidents that happen specifically on Pardal, but throughout Isla Vista go unreported. And when that happens, the county doesn't have the data to back it up to then bring the change to Isla Vista. So we really, really, really need to educate on reporting these accidents, even if it's like a bike and a pedestrian. Oftentimes people just get up and move on with their day. But the thing is if we don't track it, we have no data to show like, hey, this is what we need, and to continue to advocate for those resources. So that's just what I'll share, but I'm really happy to continue this conversation as well.
Okay, thank you. Ileana, yeah. Okay, I think Ileana, yeah.
Yes, I just mentioned it in the chat because I just want to follow up a quick answer. Based on the photo, it looks like it was on the intersection of Pardal and Embarcadero del Mar, which I myself personally, I live pretty close to that intersection and cross it on a daily basis. And I will say it's one of the scarier ones just because there's only one stop sign on two sides of the street when it's a four-way intersection. So I feel like that really just lends itself to a lot of danger. And yeah, I could see how that, I'm not surprised that it happened there, basically.
Okay, any other comments on that? Or on burning issues for future agendas? No. Oh, Henry.
Hi again, guys. It's interesting that the intersection of Embarcadero del Mar and Pardal gets brought up as well, because what I see happening there is cars on Embarcadero, I'm sorry, on Pardal that have the right of way because it is a throughway through there. They stop. That tends to create a little bit of confusion at that intersection. The stops are not, I don't have to say they're not clearly marked. They are to me. But then again, I've been living in Isla Vista for 35 years, so I know that intersection well. But what I see happening in a lot of cases is motor vehicles, reaching the intersection of Embarcadero del Mar and Pardal, going on Pardal, and they stop. And that creates a lot of, if you've got bicycle traffic coming from campus, all of a sudden you got this big buildup of bikes, depending on the time of day too. You get this big buildup of bikes and they start going into the left lane, oncoming traffic. And, you know, if you sit in front of Sam's to Go for a while and you watch, you go, oh no. But that's part of the problem there. I live on Segovia. We're pretty safe where we are, but once you get around the corner, it becomes the Wild West. And that's, you know, something to consider about that intersection that Ileana brought up. It's a very tricky intersection. I totally agree with her. It's between the light on Embarcadero del Norte and Pardal and that intersection, there's a little bit of confusion there. So that's just my take on it.
Lily?
Yeah, definitely agree that that intersection, there's a lot of confusion. I've been in the drivers, the cyclists, and the pedestrians position there, and I'm never really sure what to do. But touching on what Sydney was saying, I think our office has a huge appreciation for the pop-up that you guys did. We discussed it last night actually in our meeting, and we really wanted to, in bringing this up, we wanted to see like what we could offer like educationally, like you were saying, just because I think that a lot of students who like maybe didn't get to go to the pop-up aren't aware that this is like such a pressing issue. And we were talking about how that it's not just like drivers that are not following rules, it's also people on electric scooters, people on bikes. And so like that creates issues because it's like they're not a pedestrian, so there's the argument of like, oh, like do they have the right of way, but they're clearly like the more vulnerable person in like car to scooter in like collision or car to bicycle collision. And so we were thinking on the educational route, something about that could like promote safety and like safe operating on all forms of transportation, whether it be on foot, on bike, on scooter, or in a car.
Okay. So it seems we already have a lot of burning issues that we need to continue discussing, and it also seems that a lot of collaboration can come out on those at least two topics out of this meeting and in the future. So I think it's been a very productive meeting. If there are no more questions and comments, last chance to raise your hand. No? Okay, so we are going to finish a little bit earlier, and a reminder that if you want your program or your agency to have a spotlight on future meetings, please send an email, and it's the link there in the agenda. The next meeting is December 8th at 11:45 to 1 p.m. And you also can access this Google Doc in the agenda to add some other issues. And Lisa, I see your hand up.
I just wanted to say, since Jen had asked me to send out the housing information, maybe Sydney and also Lily, if you have anything else or anyone that you want me to include in a follow-up email to the group, I can do that. So just email it to the Ivcn address today or tomorrow, and I'll get that out. Actually, if you can do it today, I can get it out later today. Thank you. Tomorrow's a holiday. Enjoy the holiday for those of you who have a holiday tomorrow.
Yes, so if there are no more comments, I guess we will adjourn the meeting 15 minutes earlier and enjoy the holiday tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you.